Thank you. Oh, it started. Yay. Thank you. And welcome everyone, all 5 people that are going to be watching this, to the fucking Lily and Sarah show. I'm Lily and
And I'm
she's
Sarah.
Sarah. So so we're going to talk about our favorite topic. I mean, everybody's favorite topic, but not ours. Islam.
Religion.
It's so funny. It's so funny to me when, when Muslims and theists get into the argument with atheists, like, but how do you know there's not a God? That's irrelevant, sweetie. All I know is that even if there is a God, it's not your God. It's not the God of the Quran, because the God
Yes.
of the Quran is fake ass piece of shit. It's straight
He's
bullshit.
he's
But I'm
vengeful. He's vengeful and has hatred
he has a temper.
in his and
He
does he have a heart? I
he
don't
makes
know. I
rash
mean, I was gonna
decisions,
say
and he doesn't, you know, and he supposedly has a book where he knows, where he wrote down everything that's going to happen, and he knows beforehand what's going to happen. But for real, when he sees stuff actually happen, his reaction is like he didn't know that was going to happen. So
exactly.
anyway,
It's almost like he doesn't know what's going to happen. That's why he gets so annoyed. Or if he does know what's gonna happen and gets annoyed anyway, that's just weird. You know what I mean? That's just I mean, does anybody think about how strange that is? No, I don't know. Probably a
so
lot of people. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, there's a back and forth about like the whole free will bullshit in Islam, because how can it be free will if not only did he know what you're gonna do, but he wrote it down. So it's like on another level of not having
Yes.
free will, because the problem is not that he wrote it down, it's that you couldn't avert from that story if you tried. So whatever you
Exactly. Your
do,
path is written.
it's already written. So,
Every movement, every
that
little thing that
negates
you do,
free
even
will
us
right there.
talking right now, even us talking
Yeah, I
about
mean,
this right now, he wrote it.
he knew we were going to be ex-Muslims. Like, he planned it out, so it's not my fault.
And like it kind of poses the question of like when someone is born and they become a serial killer later on in life, is it their fault?
I
Or
mean, the fact
is there is
is,
it's them,
of
you know?
course not. Because the fact is that, you know, if he already knows what we're going to do, there's no point in this whole charade of, of having us on this earth. He can just skip ahead to the end where, where heaven is already happening. And he doesn't even have to have hell. He can just completely fucking delete like hell and not have it, and have all the people that were supposed to go to hell just never been born, so that they don't have to be tortured forever and suffer.
Yeah, but no, no, no. We have to remember that Eve ate the apple and then brought us to Earth, you know?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, how it's like women have been demonized in Abrahamic religions from the very beginning. They even list her as one of the number one wicked women.
Yeah, but see, in
In
Islam they
yeah,
try to pretend that that's something that they have that's not in common with with
Christianity.
Christianity, because they say like, oh, there's no original sin, there's no there's no, see, in Christianity it's like Eve tempted Adam supposedly, but in an Islamic version they say that like Adam did it of his own free will, and they don't blame everything on Eve. So that's one of
Yeah,
the ways that they gave women equality, apparently, supposedly.
yeah, and I mean, I heard that the first sin was actually their children, one of them killing one of their other children
Wait,
over
what?
it was a Cain and Abel, I think,
Oh
and
yeah,
one of them,
yeah, like, because
murdered.
hey, like mother like son, right? Like she did the original sin, and then he did the original murder.
Yeah, I mean, and then of course, let's not even get into incest, how
Oh
that
my
worked
gosh,
out, you
let's
know,
not, because
how they had,
if they say is there incest in Islam, like there's there's we're all the product of incest,
yes,
because not only is cousin marriage legal, but completely ignoring cousin marriage, like if we're all from Adam and Eve, like we're all the product of direct incest, and whether it's your twin sister or your twin sister from another pregnancy, like that's still your twin sister.
yeah,
And Adam and Eve were not even genetically diverse, because they were from the same genetic material to begin with, because Eve was from Adam's rib. So she shares the same DNA as him already. So we're basically, that's when they say when we're sons of Adam. It's like
I mean,
Eve
basically,
is the son of
she's
Adam.
just a clone of him, but in a female
Exactly.
form.
If she has,
And
she would have the same DNA if she's from his rib.
there's a thing that I see all the time. It says, a woman wasn't created, from the head of Adam, or like from his feet. She was created from his ribs, so she can be beside him. I mean, instead of saying like she wasn't created to be above him. She wasn't created to be beneath him. She was
No, there
created
was
to be
this
next to him.
lovey-dovey one that I saw, and it was like, you know, the rib cage protects the heart. The woman is supposed to protect the man's heart, and all this bullshit. It's like that would first of all have to be that you were from the rib to begin with. Like I would have to believe that first for your analogy
Yeah.
to work. But that's relevant. Hey, do you want to talk about the reverse psychology thing?
Oh yeah, definitely. You start, since
Okay.
it's
Let's
your theory, or not
it's
theory, but
it's
it's
my
your.
it's not a theory. It's obvious.
Yes.
So like I can look up the ayahs real quick while we're talking and then screen share them.
Alrighty.
so so basically there's four instances off the top of my head where Allah in the Quran kind of doesn't really show any knowledge of reverse psychology or even like show that he knows that he even exists, right? He's very like simple-minded and like he has a really one-track mind where he can just think of one thing at a time. It's funny.
He almost seems very one-dimensional.
Oh, he's incredibly one-dimensional, and he also doesn't even he doesn't he's not very familiar with the idea of like framing someone. For example, like if a woman, claims that, she's not guilty, it's like, no, you are guilty. There's no way a dude framed you. Come on.
Like, why would a human, I mean, a human male,
Yeah,
ever
it
do
doesn't even
that?
cross their mind. Like nobody, like framing is not a thing.
But
Why would he
but the thing
lie?
is, it kind of almost shows how primitive, because he just created humans, right? Like, supposedly, he just created humans. He didn't know how they worked. He didn't. I mean, it's almost like he didn't realize that
He doesn't.
humans
He doesn't know the
could
first thing
could do
about
that
human
shit.
psychology. Like he did. Yeah, it's like his creation was smarter than him because 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 you know his sorry, I fucking totally blanked and forgot what I was gonna say.
It's
But yeah,
okay.
like our minds are more complex than he shows himself to be, and the closest thing to complexity is him saying, "I know things that you don't know,"
I mean,
and is
the
being very vague and ethereal.
the
Like,
the
okay,
thing
like
is, I
what?
mean, it even happens if we want to look at, humans, when we create, like, I mean, especially maybe in the future, they'll have robots who will be more intelligent. I mean, even now, robots are more intelligent than humans. So that is our creation.
I mean,
So
I can make a fucking calculator right now that can tell me the square root of fucking 5 million. That calculator is smarter than me. You can create something smarter than you. And apparently if that's what people want to believe, if they want to
yeah.
believe that, it's not automatically a requirement that the creator is smarter than the creation. So even if there is a God, there's no real reason to automatically assume that he's smarter than you.
Indeed. Like, I think so too, because I just don't believe that God is really smarter than humans. And they'll talk about, oh, he made a complex plant, or like, oh, look at the structure of the plant. you know I mean, okay, if I know this sounds bad, but if God was so great, why would he make different living creatures that had to eat each other for nourishment, instead of
I mean,
making
we
it
can't we
where
can't
we
even
can.
begin to get into the nature thing because there's so many things that go wrong in nature, and they try to be like, oh, the earth was perfectly designed. And I was walking on down the street the other day, and I passed by a random like wild apple tree, and it was like crab apples, and the branch of the tree was coming down by the ground, and there was a bunch of apples on the tree, and they were like rotting away, and they were just like shriveled up and still connected to the tree. And I'm like, look at this. I swear if I was a god, I could have designed a better world. I would make fruits that didn't rot. Why do we have to
Yes.
only have those in heaven? Well, that's stupid.
And why is it that
Basically, to
everything that we
say,
have in heaven are things that are forbidden on earth? I mean, we have these things on earth already, but that's our promise. Like, we can already, so, when I would kind of say, there's a rich kid, right? and he gets everything that he ever wanted in his
Yeah, but
entire
like,
life.
sorry to cut you off, but
Yes.
like the point is, they say the Earth was perfectly designed for humans. No, Jannah was perfectly designed for humans. Like the Earth is imperfectly designed, and it's well, it's supposedly, if it was designed, the point is that the earth has so many problems. So to say that it's perfectly designed is fucking retarded. Like there's tigers and lions running around. If I go out there, I'm gonna get eaten by one. How is that a perfect design for humans?
I mean,
Hey,
it's not perfectly.
I gotta say hi to Harry. He's our first ever viewer.
Oh, hi
Hey,
Harry,
babe.
what's up?
So anyway, let's
I
get
was
into
gonna say
that.
that it's not perfectly designed for any animal, really.
Right? It really isn't, because
And
every animal in nature has its predator, and it doesn't matter what that animal is, from the smallest amoeba to the biggest, like, the biggest mammal, the whale. Whales die, like they're very fragile. Actually, the bigger an animal is, the more fragile it is. Freaking elephants and whales, like, they're in danger. They can go extinct. It's like,
yeah,
the might. But anyway, oh shit. But anyway,
exactly. I
let
was
me
gonna
go in
say,
here and look up this. Yeah, you can keep talking. I'm gonna
also, can
I'm
we
gonna go
talk
look for that
about,
ayah.
like, since you're looking for the eye, I was just gonna say, um, with animals, how come, I don't know, I just feel like if God is so great, why did he make some animals have less consciousness, I guess, or why is it that
Oh, I
some
thought you were gonna say
animals,
why are some weaker than others.
yes, some are weaker than others, and also, some are smarter than others, some have more conscious, like, self
Yeah, well
awareness.
that's the thing we were talking about the other day, was like, according to the Quran and the Islamic view, the only animal that supposedly has consciousness, sentience, and free will is, a human. Actually, humans and jinn specifically. Like he throughout the entire Quran, he's always talking about men and jinn,
Oh
jinn
damn!
and
Don't mention
jinn.
that shit to me right now. It's late.
Shut up. Funny, and no one's gonna believe you're a fucking ex-Muslim. They're gonna be like, wait a minute, nah, I'm in the room with the light on. I don't play with that shit. It's like Ouija boards. Like, there's no God, but I'm still not gonna play with a Ouija board just in case ghosts and demons are real. No, but like, all
Exactly.
right, but that's like something I'd probably be wary of, even if I had never been in a religion ever. Oh my god, he's evil. So,
I
so
mean,
what
those
was the
those
first?
things are creepy, and they're not just in religious, texts and stuff. I mean, a lot of different cultures mention them. So, no risks taken.
Yeah.
Even though actually talking about God and talking about Him in such a blasphemous way is
Mhm.
riskier than anything.
Yeah,
Like,
right? It's like we're supposed to be scared of him. We're supposed to be more afraid of him than of the devil. But I'm sorry, like when you give the devil so many powers and you make him so scary, like how do you expect people not to be fearful of him? Like, and then God, on the other hand, he makes a lot of threats, but then he turns around and says like, "Oh, I'm not even gonna go through with half of them." So we're supposed to take you seriously and be scared of you, but we're supposed to love Allah but also fear him. Except the
it
devil,
almost
like we're
feels like
supposed to
there are
fear
many
him. That's it.
multiple, it's like a bunch of different gods, and this is like the baby god of all the other gods or something. Like,
The baby god. He's like baby Jesus. No, but he's seriously like a toddler though. He acts like a spoiled toddler that throws a tantrum when he doesn't get his way every single time. Like, when Iblis says something he doesn't like, he gets so pissed off and he's like, "Get the fuck out of my face! I fucking don't want to hear from you. I'm gonna send you to
get the
hell."
fuck out of my face, bitch ass motherfucker.
Wait. Let's go to. Oh my gosh, I need to actually um cite my sources and shit, because we're just talking shit, but we gotta actually show the hadiths and the surahs. Actually, the surahs first, because I don't want anybody like, oh, you only read hadith. Actually, I never used to read hadith when I was Muslim, like rarely. But
Yeah.
I would consult the Quran for everything, because that's what you're supposed to do, right? So haha, let's pop in. I have no, no idea where to find this shit. Let me go back. Hey, so wait, what were we talking about?
We were
Ayah,
talking, and you were
Surah.
looking for the ayah.
I am still looking for it. The son of a bitch. I'm just gonna fucking look it up on here. Because I had found it. Hey, what are you doing? Are you still are you sitting down yet?
Who, me? No.
Yeah.
I'm like struggling to like fucking crack an egg with a phone in my hand.
You still didn't do it.
I
Oh my
still didn't
god.
do it.
It's okay. All right. Fuck, they never, they never want to show you, they never want to tell you the fucking ayah so you can look it up and look it up yourself. What the hell? Luckily, I happen to have my Quran here right next to me. That's why you can hear the
Oh,
pages turning.
nice.
This is the same Quran that I had when it was given to me when I was probably like 8 years old. I was very young when I had it. I treasured it as they say you're supposed to do. I mistreated it. If you look at it, the pages are very crisp and clean and nice. I originally had wrote something on the inside cover of it. I wrote like my address and phone number, and then I wrote like, if found, please return to this address. This is very important to me. Like I legit wrote that. And then later when I became an ex-Muslim, I'm about to get attacked for this shit. Like I saw that page and I tore that page out.
Oh my goodness, that is
I
blasphemy,
defaced I
girl.
defaced the Quran. Oh no.
You're not supposed to touch the Quran's pages.
It was a blank page to begin with. Like at the end, at the beginning and end,
Yeah,
they
I
have
know.
like 7 blank pages for no fucking reason, and I had written on the page, and then I
You know,
tore it
you're not
out.
even supposed to do that. That's
You're not even
you're
supposed to
not
write
even.
on it, dude. I used to write all over my Quran. I had a highlighter, and if you flip through it, there's so many places highlighted. And I feel like even back then, I knew something was up because if you look at the shit that I would highlight, right, it's like I knew that it was contradictory because I can explain
Of
it. I
course,
can explain
yeah.
because
I
okay,
think
for example,
you recognize it.
I saw the footnotes, right, and in one it would say, it would say, hey, Muhammad said the 4 biggest sins were shirk, uh, disrespecting your parents and your mother, killing another human being, and illegal sex. And in the next one, it would say Muhammad said that the biggest sins were shirk, and then illegal sex, and then murder, and then it was always out of order, and it was like, well, the one that never
Yeah.
changed was shirk. Like you always worship Allah. Like that's the first one. It's always the worst sin is to worship someone other than Allah. Well, that's too fucking bad because I worship someone else now, sweetie.
And do you really worship someone else?
um, not really. Like I don't actually worship anyone, but you're not supposed to have idols, and I do have idols, like people that I admire. So I'm saying too bad. I was talking. Oh my gosh. I wanna screen share that thing about bid'ah real quick. Mm? Oh,
Okay.
who do I worship? Who's my idol? Um, name dropping. I can't right now. It's so embarrassing. But like introverted smiles and
Introverted smiles, he's your idol? Damn.
he's one of my idols. I do like him though.
Yeah,
He
he's
knows I like
cool.
him. Anyway, yeah, he is cool though for real. Because
Yeah, I mean
you know
he's
how when you
inspirational.
yeah, for real. You know how when you like have someone that you admire and you're like starstruck and you don't actually know them as a person, so you have like these unrealistic expectations of a celebrity, and then you meet them and you're like, oh my gosh, like the fucking person who meets the celebrity and they think that they're like a god for real, and then I don't have unrealistic expectations of him. Like I'm sure he does stuff, but that's okay. I'm still gonna take his V card. I'm gonna take his virginity.
Oh my God, damn girl. You're gonna take his V card? No, but he has to
I
protect that.
told him.
That's
You're
precious.
right. You're right. I'm not gonna. You know what?
Don't.
I'm gonna do it, but I'm not gonna tell anyone. I'm just gonna tell you in secret. I'm gonna be like, yo, guess what? Guess what I did?
Yeah, I took his V card.
Everyone is gonna be
That's
so
gonna be
mad
amazing.
because they want us. Okay. Fuck. It doesn't even tell. Oh wait, shit. What does it say? List of places in the Quran. It is a good. What the hell kind of bullshit? Oh, this is so stupid. the glossary in this doesn't even tell the page number. I'm done. I'm looking in the wrong place. Ugh, they never cite the
I've
sources
noticed
for
that
this
it's
bullshit.
very
I'm just not
difficult to
even gonna.
find certain things. Like when I go on certain
I
websites, it's hard to actually find actual resources.
Yeah, because this is what I said before, right? If you already know the verse, the surah and the ayah, then you can look it up easily. But if you don't know it, trying to find it is hard because they purposely, like if you search right now in Google, Quran ayah for cutting off hand of thief, they're not going to tell you the exact verse. You're going to find a million results
Yes.
about like apologetics about why, like, hey, this is the justification for cutting off the hand. Like, they're not going to tell you because they don't want you to read it for yourself. So fucking sneaky.
And I
But it's
often like
okay.
to kind of corner
It's
a
okay because I
Muslim
like reading those
into,
apologetics pages. You know why?
yeah.
Because they say all this stuff and they think it sounds good and it actually makes them sound even worse. They're like, but this is why it's okay and this is why he's told us to do it. And I'm like, you realize that's the worst reason ever. You realize how fucking stupid you sound. You need to
And do you
stop.
remember that one time when we were talking to that we were having a conversation,
Yeah, that
and that
guy,
guy was
Faison.
trying to justify, cutting hands
Cutting
by
off the hand
saying,
because they always say there's a process you have to go through, blah, blah, blah. You know what part is not, you know what's not a part of the process? A psychological evaluation of the man who stole to see if he was in his right mind and if he needs help or, oh shit, what the fuck? Oops. Mm, dang, she got disconnected. Mm, girl, aw, I can't get her back. What happened? I'm trying. What the heck is going on? Okay. Ugh. I can't find it. Oh no, I'm gonna have to end the call because I can't fucking find. What are you doing? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to end the fucking call because she called me on the wrong thing. That's too bad. I was hoping we could actually get to something today. I might delete it.